Let's be real. When you're putting yourself out there online for your business or otherwise, sometimes it feels like you're facing a crowd of strangers who may or may not be holding rotten fruit. So what do you do when a hateful comment does show up out of nowhere? This is something that I struggled with for a lot of years. Even before I was on YouTube, I worked as a professional radio personality, and one bad comment could ruin my entire day. I just landed in San Diego for a conference this morning, and the first message I got once my phone came back on was from a client who got a really hateful comment and was freaking out. So I thought I'd record this video to share what I shared with her in case it's helpful for someone else. I'm gonna walk through exactly how I deal with hateful comments now so they don't control me, don't control my brand, don't control my content, and don't control my mission. Even if you've never gotten a negative comment, and I hope you don't, but odds are if you start reaching new people, you are going to get one eventually, and this will equip you so you're ready when it happens. Plus, I'm gonna tell you the worst way to respond that I learned the hard way never to do. First, I want you to know if you've only posted for friends and followers and now you are posting things publicly for the first time and you're worried about it, that's totally normal. You're opening yourself up to people around the world, and some of them are not kind. And the way you feel when you get a negative comment doesn't make you weak. It makes us human, and that's okay. Especially if you grew up self-conscious about your appearance like I did, the braces, the acne, the whole deal, and then someone finds another flaw in the way you look and decides to introduce it to you for the first time. The worst way to respond, I learned this the hard way when I worked as a morning radio personality. We had a team show, and if a comment came in that was negative, no matter where it was, on social media, email, text, phone, it would derail me for the whole show because I would try and win that person back over. So instead of hosting the radio show for 500,000 listeners, I would be trying to email somebody back and saying, "I'm so sorry you feel that way. I hope you'll give us another chance." So there was a rule on our show after a while. Jerry's not allowed to look at social media, email, text, or anything because I would let one comment ruin the entire day. So the worst way to respond, and you might do this if you're a recovering people pleaser like me, is to try and win that person back over. First of all, odds are, if they complain, they were just having a bad day. More on that in just a second. But the second thing is, if they're just an internet troll, you might waste hours and then end up making them angrier than they were in the first place. So now, when a negative comment comes in on YouTube or wherever else, this is what I remind myself and my clients: those people are not my people. They're almost always not our ideal audience. They are just the loudest people. And something else I learned being higher profile when I was in radio is that hurt people hurt people. You wouldn't believe how many times when I was trying to win someone back over the way that I used to do, I would find out the next day, they'd reply and say, "I'm so sorry I said that. I just found out I'm getting divorced," or something terrible was going on in their life, and they decided to take it out on a sort of stranger. So remember that, hurt people hurt people. Now, how do we handle it? So here are the 3 things you can do when you get a hateful comment, and then I'm going to show you one thing that you should do to remove the emotion from it entirely, or I'll say almost entirely. We'll leave it at that for now, and then you can decide when I tell you what it is, okay? So the first thing you can do is nothing. Just ignore the comment. You might look at it and feel like, oh, I've got to respond or something like that, but if you're already busy, they may not be worth your time. And that's okay. Just move on. The second option is to take advantage of whatever platform you're on and hide, delete, or block it. So I'm like YouTube, and I know on Facebook you can just hide the comment and the person doesn't know it's hidden, but nobody else sees it. On Facebook specifically, their friends will see it, but no one else in your audience will see it. So I like the hide option unless I have a really good reason to delete something. If someone has a very valid comment, maybe it's constructive criticism, then I absolutely like to reply. Ask more questions. Honestly, if you follow up with curiosity, half the time they'll never come back again, but you look good in front of your audience because you didn't just ignore it or delete it, potentially. But also, sometimes they will come back and they'll say a little bit more, or they might go, "Sorry, I was having a bad day," as I realized happens quite a bit. Just know, whatever you reply with, remember that's public. So you're sort of replying for that person, but you're also replying for the rest of your audience or anyone else who may see it. And here's how you remove the emotion entirely. And if you are an emotional person, or like I said, a recovering people pleaser, this is crucial. Essentially design your own internal company policy. Even if you're not a business, you can still do this. Just decide when something comes in. So it might be, If it's hateful only, then you just ignore it or delete it. But if it's an actual constructive criticism, then reply in kind and ask for more information. So when you have sort of a checklist or a process like this, then when that negative comment comes in, you can go through and deal with it and move on with your day without having to feel as much emotion around it. If you take one thing away from this, don't let a few loud people keep you from showing up from the quiet ones that need your help. Please let me know if you found this helpful. And if you are new here to Done by Lunch Entrepreneurs, we help you run your business in a way that takes less time so that you can be successful helping more people before you burn out. So if that sounds good, consider hitting subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. All right? Take care.